the four of you journey across a plain, well, a pathway in the forest, finding yourself standing in front of a campsite. You see a man in a cloak sitting beside his tent. He looks at you and beckons you over towards him. What do you do?
Presumably, we proceed.
Start us out of character. Like to say, why are we all together? You'd never that you haven't answered.
You'll see.
And then okay. Ugh.
Renoa cautiously approaches.
Also, those little black things are logs that you can sit on.
Obvious.
Yes.
Alright. Renoa slowly approaches, clasping her hands together nervously, fidgeting.
Ooh.
And then,
I give her a double take, noticing this, and I say, "What's up, you lass?"
well, this is kind of unconventional.
What's so unconventional about it? We're looking for a man. We're going to meet a man in the woods by a campfire.
And don't you think that's kind of suspicious?
Nothing I had dealt with before.
If you say
And
so.
and while we're on a similar topic, I turn to the man with the cloak. Good now. And I say, "What you brought us here for?"
He looks at you. You don't see his face, but clearly, from the sound of his voice, he is pleased that you arrived. He says to you, "Ah, good. You've all arrived safely then. I would, of course, speak to you in a tavern, like many other people have, but this is a matter that we cannot afford to have anyone listening to us in the conversation. So I assumed a campfire would be the best idea for us. I've hired the four of you. However, I have not only hired you. There have been other groups I've hired similar. I hired a mercenary band ahead of you, but I've not heard back from them. So I've hired the four of you, and there will be others that will arrive in a few weeks' time. As you no doubt know from the job I hired you for, 1 million gold for the head of the vampire queen. I'm assuming you're up to the task, considering the four of you are here.
Yeah. Aye, lad.
Good. What about the other three of you? Do you feel the same? I would assume so.
I just nod.
I just look at him skeptically.
I'm just writing notes. Is this going to be in the test?
Fucking hell. He seems pleased with this response and tells you, "Why didn't you you four sit down? I'll tell you a short story as to why you'll be hunting down the vampire queen, and some important details you'll need to make note of."
At this point, I will pipe up and I'll say, "Sit down and tell us a story when we don't even know each other." That's very confident, now isn't it?
Well, I hired the four of you, each based entirely on your merits alone. I assumed that the four of you would make a good team, hence I hired you all at once. But supposedly, yes, you have a point. It would be a best idea for the four of you to get to know one another, since I already know the four of you through your dossiers. So, go ahead, introduce yourselves to each other, and then we shall continue with this story for you.
How about we start with Loudmouth over here?
You talking to me, lad?
I'm a woman.
Near enough.
Am I just imagining? Never mind. Sorry.
Anyway, name's Grim, clan Leadtooth. They call me a blood hunter, but I've taken a very different order to the others. You see, when I were a wee lad, we were digging in the mountains to reach the everlasting stocks of gold. Problem is, we found an egg from the far realm. Last thing I know, my clan was annihilated. But I survived. And now, I use the powers given by this symbiote to help crush monsters like this vampire queen. And then I met you three. Speaking of which, what about Horny over here? What's her story?
Well, I'm taking this commission as a extracurricular activity from my paranormal club at the school I attend.
What? What are we doing with a schoolgirl in our midst?
Well, I may be a schoolgirl, but I might surprise you.
Ah, you do surprise me, the fact you're still alive.
Well, I guess I've already impressed you then. That's nice.
At that point, I just raise an eyebrow. I say, well, if Shady over there says you're good for the task, that's fine by me. You get the job done, and we'll be friends.
Oh, Jesus, my thing's on a balance.
But just don't expect me to pick up your nappy.
I'll keep that in mind.
Anyway, and what about you, Shining Armor?
Deacon, just Deacon.
Fair enough, lad. And then we got Bunny Ears over here. What's your life story?
Things change when you notice that the ones that you care about are killed by horrors that you have yet to comprehend. So, there you go.
Aye, now that we got the pleasantries out of the way, where's your nearest latrine? I gotta dump that could kill a rat in here.
The figure stares at you and goes, well, the closest town here is quite a distance away. Your best bet would be going into the bushes, I assume.
And that's where I'm going. And at that point, I turn about, and that will give people plenty of opportunity to do other stuff.
I should for
At
man.
that point, I'm just going to
Don't-
look over there and
Don't go near
just
the poison
smirk as
ivy.
I was going to say, there's poison ivy in that direction. You shouldn't have said anything.
I'm gonna turn to Man and Pudding and go, what's the first thing we do then?
Hang on, I'm going to say this. Harry, quickly roll a nature check.
Okay.
I'm really curious now because of them.
You have an itchy dick.
Okay.
Main character as much as possible.
Oh, okay, 16. How's that
Right.
look?
You managed to successfully find leaves that are harmless to you, narrowly avoiding any poisonous or potentially harmful plants to wipe your arse with.
Okay, there we go.
That
Right.
one is gimpy gimpy.
So, we know our quarry, so how do we get there? Is
Already
the other
asked that.
question.
Yeah. He says to you, well, before you can get to the Vampire Queen herself, unfortunately she has quite a few people under her belt that keep her safe. And she has a new industry relying solely on well, I wouldn't really call it a material or... well, let's just say maybe that's the best way to put it. It's essentially black scales from a legendary dragon. Died about 130 years ago, fighting off the gods. It seems the scales themselves give vampires something that is far more unique than they could ever have possessed in the first place. Immunity to sunlight.
Other than, years feast of blood.
Well, originally, before the Vampire Queen took over, that's not how things were run around here. About 130 years ago, after the lords and gods fought to the death, both sides having lost their lives, after the barrier was taken down that the gods had trapped the 7 clans in, basically they decided because, well, humans were brought here by the gods, and the gods were dead, that they would slaughter the humans, seeing them as to blame for the suffering and complete destroyal of all their homes and lives. However, the Vampire King Drac decided, instead of actually killing the humans after a few days of his slumber, he realized what was going on, and decided instead that the humans would pay tribute or donations in blood. Essentially, they would pay pay for all the destruction caused by their kind with their blood without losing their lives. Seems both sides agreed to this, and things were peaceful for a time, until the king found one of the black scales of the Lord of Dragons. And upon hearing the news of this, his sister proceeded to kill him. Luckily, there is quite a few loyalists amongst the royal family of the vampires, so they protected his daughter. However, while she was escaping, she's been captured by a necromancer. The queen found out about this, but decided to let him keep her, in order to use her for his attempt for lichdom. So far as we speak, he has nearly completed the ritual. He's got less than a week, hence why you guys come in. What we need to do is you need to go to a nearby settlement, kill the necromancer, save the princess, and she'll be able to help us in taking down the vampire queen. But be warned, some of the vampire guards that she has will be immune to sunlight. However, should you be able to remove the scales to protect them, you could easily kill them with any form of sunlight or holy items. So, do you still agree to the payment for the job?
Another quick question.
Sure. What do you need to
So, which group are we? Are we group E, F?
Well, you're the second group that I've hired. The first was a large mercenary band. It was more numbers than power. I haven't heard back from them since I sent them to the settlement, so I'm assuming they're all dead. So I thought it better to get power rather than numbers. However, should you fail, which I'm hoping you won't, but there will be a third group that will arrive, but I don't know if they'll arrive in time anyway.
Which way do we head then?
You'll be heading northbound. There'll be a tavern in a village that I've hired for you guys for the night. You'll be able to stay there for the evening, and then you'll be continuing on eastward. You have to be careful when you leave the village, though, because there's quite a number of dead patrolling the area. Luckily, the necromancer is also more on numbers than he is power. You may encounter a few minotaur skeletons, but other than that, it shouldn't be too much trouble. However, should you take out the necromancer and the undead, we'll be able to actually send in my people, and we'll be able to turn it into a base of operations to make sure you have a safe place at all times here.
I'm just going to get up and start heading towards the town.
I follow behind.
At which point I emerge from the bush and follow on.
He says to you as you go by and says, "Good luck." But as you walk off, he throws 4 bags of coins at you. You each catch them, and each one contains 1,000 gold. He says to you, "A down payment to ensure your interest of the job." Now it's time to move on to page number 3, unless anybody else has anything they want to do.
No, I'm just heading up the path.
Okay, page number 3
Why?
it is then.
Like actually organising all the pictures I actually need for this session.
Fair enough. You start at the bottom right side. Ben's character is a time shifter.
Of course. Yeah, always have been.
Okay. So you start
So
to
what
make
do I
your way
hear?
through... Huh?
I was going to say, so what do I hear?
I was about to say. So,
Okay.
you leave the campsite, and as you continue forward, the sounds of the fire crackling disappear as you slowly make your way through the forest. All you hear is, of course, the normal ambience of any forest. The odd chirping of a cricket, the rustling of the bushes, and the dead, eerie silence as you walk with your footsteps on the ground. You make your way towards what appears to be an opening of the forest trees.
So we would be about here then.
Yeah, you'd be up there.
Okay, so I just want to point out as I walk, I'm happily whistling a tune to myself.
Ooh.
While walking, I'm looking for tracks.
Okay. Well,
How's a passive investigation 25 look?
yeah, I don't even need to do fucking investigation or fucking perception for you. I just tell you
Or
what
me.
I see. I fucking just tell you what you see. But anyway, Vesna.
More likely hear, see, and find.
As you and your companions, or newfound companions, start making your way towards the opening, you notice what appears to be large, beast-like tracks. You believe these are bear tracks. As the three of you reach the opening, you hear the sounds of bones crunching and flesh being torn apart, as you notice 3 bears. They appear to be devouring the corpses of what you can only be made of mess from the just torn up bones and flesh-ripped corpses. Appears to either be
dissection.
bandits or villagers. You can't tell, though, at this distance. What
Don't
do you wish
interrupt
to do?
them. They must be taking their dissection class.
Yes. Alright,
I
then
just turn-
each of
I
you
just
make
turn and
a stealth check.
Look at them.
Oh god, this is gonna
Okay.
be fun. Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
freaking stupid.
Okay, so...
Well, I
It's
get
not
mine
it's not a 1!
I get. Oh shit! Well, I have the first one of the team, so
Fuck.
hey!
So wait, you've got a disadvantage on stealth.
I have a disadvantage on stealth.
Anyone in heavy armor has disadvantage.
I'm
Not the
Okay.
worst! Not the worst!
As you four decide it's better to sneak across rather than disturb the bears as they're eating. However, due to the ripped apart corpses you see on the ground, unfortunately, you all step on the bones of a recently deceased person. This alerts them immediately to your location as they start to roar at you. They stare intently. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out what would be a good check to do. Do an animal handling check, one of you.
Breno,
I'll do it.
Okay.
I got a 3. Bad
Hold
roll,
on.
badly.
Alright.
What?
Oh,
Dude, he said one of us. He said one of us. You need to
Alright.
listen to him. If he says one, only one of us does it.
Yeah,
Alright, here we
I'll
go.
just see how you all do. Might as well at this point. Okay. Let's
Bad rolls today.
Okay, so as Deacon and Vesner decide that they will attempt to soothe the creatures, it fails completely and they are angered. However, Grim is able to at least calm them down somewhat, causing them not to pay attention to him, and they decide best to just continue eating the food they already have, as there's no
Yeah.
point wasting their energy. They ignore you and allow you to continue on the path.
But as I was about to say, in order to calm the bears down, I would just raise my hands, move it down a bit, and say, "Hey, eat the corpses. We're not as interesting."
Evidently that
I
works.
I would have just picked up a bone and thrown it, see if they fetch.
They're bears, not dogs. Okay, so what do you intend to do now? That the bears are not going to attack you.
They're not going to attack us.
No, luckily Grim has managed to save your asses in that regard.
That's how you deal with bears, lads.
As you continue on through the pathway, escaping the attention of the bears, as you continue on, the sounds of flesh being torn apart and the smell of blood and metal fades away as you slowly reach another area. Another opening you reach. But all you notice in this location is a small squirrel that just seems to be walking across the ground. What do you do?
I'm gonna take a perception check.
Okay. Perception that check.
I don't have to. 25.
So the
Well,
both of you, it appears to be a regular squirrel. No abnormalities.
I was thinking it.
No differences to any grey squirrel. Simply.
What
describing
about the smell?
smell? It smells clear. You don't smell any death, any blood, any metal. To you, it just smells like the normal smell of a forest.
And here I thought it was the undead squirrel of the damned. Never mind.
I just say, smells like forest.
Perhaps.
All right, Gump, calm down.
If you got a higher perception check for it, it's
Well-
gonna be something because
It's not actually. It's up to Ethan if he wants to give it to you.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
the thing, though.
it-
To you,
it's up.
it appears to be just a regular squirrel. Like, it acts like a squirrel, sounding like a squirrel. Everything this thing is doing is what a squirrel would do.
This squirrel is up to something.
Why the fuck are you
Yeah.
bringing
It-
chicken run into this?
that laugh.
No, I just find that funny because it's the chicken run thing.
No, just remember we're in character, so we can't take hints off Ethan's laughing
Yeah.
because he laughs all the time.
That
It
being
is,
said,
yeah.
I don't think it glints any hints. Anyway, it was just
Just Ethan being Ethan.
just a quip there.
Me having no particular reason to find the squirrel especially suspicious, I shall move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you all continue to move forward, it stares intently at you. I need you... I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's kind of funny, though. I need you guys to roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity check or dexterity saving throw?
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh god, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
I got that
typical.
one.
You
I got a 10.
Oh.
I have a 6.
I'm surprised that a 25 doesn't see anything through that.
Because
You
if
wouldn't.
you're using perception for it and there is nothing that you can perceive about it, it won't notice it because it would have had to been an Arcana check you would have had to have done.
Yeah.
Or a nature check, I guess.
Kind of. So pretty much everyone fucking fails for this one. I'm honestly surprised. Okay. This is gonna be funny.
It's still not a 1, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay, so each of you will be taking... I gotta fucking...
Remember, I got a nat 1 Ethan, I take double it.
Yeah, so according to
What, for a
this...
squirrel?
Each of
Whatever
you
he's doing
takes
for-
9 fire damage, except Deacon, who takes 18 fire damage.
So basically the squirrel exploded.
No, it breathed fire. The squirrel had run up to you, and out of its mouth shoots a bursting cone of flame.
So it is a squirrel of the damned.
It's worse.
Hold on, wait.
What is
Do you
it?
want to know the funniest part is? This is something that's in the rules as written. This is the big reveal.
Traits.
Something's up with Stu.
Hold on.
No, Stu, don't look too much into this squirrel. Trust me. Just
No, I was checking for something.
you're checking if you had immunity to fire or something.
No, I was thinking of doing my lucky footwork, which would be a default onto my deck saving throw, but I bet it's ridiculously high.
Not really. Anyway, so what is everybody doing? Noticing this squirrel has now breathed fire upon you.
Well, I'm pissed off. I'm going to throw my javelin at it.
You're gonna throw your javelin at it? Throw your javelin.
I'm moving
Javelin
back.
that throw.
Hmm?
That's a 12, look.
You hit it.
Hey.
And the damage.
Which then
you kill
confers
it.
7.
As you throw your javelin directly at the squirrel, you aim directly onto it, hitting it and killing it. Piercing and penetrating through its body, it looks like a squirrel kebab. However, you notice...
I screwed up. I
Let
don't
Ethan
actually
finish,
take
man,
any
let Ethan
damage.
finish.
You notice
Sorry.
as the squirrel disappears, it is replaced by the form of a dragonborn. You notice this dragonborn is dressed in leather armor, and it appears... Can someone do a Arcana check?
Hey.
Who has the highest or the second highest? That would be that, because if we do both the homebrew rules, only the person who has higher Arcana than the first check can reroll.
And who's got the highest animal handling?
Well, I was about to say, I have advantage on checks that recall information about faith themes or on dead. So I will do I'll do it. I got 17 anyway. So
you notice that this is merely a dragonborn druid. He looks at the four of you and goes, I'll let you go this time, but you better not interfere with our works, or else you'll be regretting it greatly. He runs into the tree line, and you see him transform into another squirrel as he jumps between the forest trees.
I go, blast it! I was looking forward to that squirrel kebab!
Would you like to know why I did this? It
No,
turns out, right, Harry, you'll be interested in this greatly. It turns out, while a dragonborn druid can still use its breath attack in wild shape. If it can breathe, it can use its breath attack, regardless of what type of dragonborn it is.
Did you do that for the sole purpose of showcasing
Yes.
that?
Yes. Oh, come on. It was great, though, wasn't it?
Not really.
No, it's great to... I wanted to fucking show you how fucking cool that is.
I mean,
So,
okay, it is cool, but...
Fucking fire-breathing squirrels. Anyway, so you successfully managed to survive, so to speak, being burned by a squirrel.
Yeah, actually, Benoa wasn't. I realised she had advantage on Dex.
Fair enough.
I was about to say, just before it runs off, can I absorb its fire-breathing ability into my symbiote?
I'm not entirely sure. Do you have to kill a creature to be able to absorb its ability?
No, hang on.
Considering that was a
as soon as I
druid,
find it.
and that was part of the dragonborn rather than the scroll itself.
Okay, so what it says is, in order to absorb an ability, I make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature whose challenge rating is no more than 2 levels higher than my own.
Well, it's not more than your challenge rating, though, is it? It's below yours.
Oh, in that case, I can.
Yeah.
So the DC is equal to twice the creature's challenge rating.
So now your character can breathe fire.
I gotta do the check first. Okay, we have an unnatural 20.
Yeah, that should work, I guess.
All right.
Okay, so as the flame had engulfed you at first, your symbiote merely absorbs it into itself and repurposes it for later abilities of fire breathing.
Alrighty, so I gotta add this as an action now. So what does this? So what does this do?
It's
How much?
It's basically just a dragonborn fire breath.
Right.
It's just 2d6 of fire damage.
2d6 of fire. Okay. I mean, you can carry on while I'm doing this.
Yeah, you'll just be moving on to the next area anyway. On to page
Yeah.
4. Down at the bottom left side. After your encounter with the dragonborn druid, that seems to have been very aggressive for who knows what reason, you find yourself walking slowly towards a village. As you approach, you notice that this village seems to be quite run down, as quite a number of the buildings are either quite heavily damaged from whatever has been there before, and it seems that there is no salvageable ground to grow any crops. So it would seem that it relies solely on possibly trade routes. You never know.